Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Poetry 1, course code 403, lecture 20. In earlier lectures, we talked about Paradise Lost by John Milton. The poem started with the invocation to the muse. Here, unlike any ordinary epic poem, it is not the invocation to the 9 muses, to the 9 traditional classical muses. It is the invocation to the Holy Spirit. Then the theme is described. Milton describes that he is going to justify the ways of God to men. Then the contents of the poem, that it is based on the eating of the fruit of the forbidden tree. The poem, after the contents of the poem and the theme and invocation, there is description of Satan. He has fallen from heaven and he is lying in hell. So that description is there. He first is unconscious and later on he recovers from that and he addresses his followers. His first speech is there, then he addresses Beelzebub and Beelzebub gives him a reply. In his reply, in Beelzebub's reply, there was a bit of disappointment, despair was there. So Satan again addresses him. Satan suggests that they should take advantage of this opportunity. Then we had a description of Satan and a number of similes were there. Milton uses extended similes to describe the stature, the physique of Satan. And then Satan is permitted to rise. Satan and Beelzebub, they finally able to fly to land, and they are happy that they have flown on their own strength without any permission or without the support of anyone. Then the description of hell is there. We had another of Satan's speech, and Satan proposes to summon his followers, and the description of Satan on shore. The land area in hell is described and how it is different from the fiery lake of hell, because there were 2 parts of it. It said that the lake of hell, it had the liquid fire, and the land area had the solid fire. Then we had a number of similes, and in these similes the angels, the fallen angels, they are compared to leaves, they are compared to locusts, they are compared to barbarian hordes, and then finally the description of rebel angels was there, and we had the description of Satan and his followers also. Now all these speeches, we saw that there were a number of instances in hell in book 1 when Satan addressed his followers. He addressed Beelzebub and other followers, and all these addresses, they are very important because these reveal his qualities, the qualities of Satan. They reveal his character, what type of a character he is, what type of person. So these speeches are very important. Even the analysis of these speeches is important, because that these speeches make him one of the he is the most important character of the poem, because he is on one side, and on the other hand there is God and Adam and Eve. So he is one of the opponents. So he is the protagonist. The qualities that he bears, that he exhibits, through those qualities, sometimes some critics, they feel that he exhibits the heroic qualities, the qualities that are worthy of being a hero. So today we start off with the last speech of Satan, which is towards the end of book 1, Paradise Lost. And after this we will discuss the building of the palace of Pandemonium. O myriads of immortal spirits, O powers matchless. So he addresses the titles that he uses to address his followers, to address the rest of the fallen angels. He says, O immortal spirits. Myriads is numberless, a lot of, numerous, infinite, बहुत ज़्यादा, जो कि नाकाबिले अनगिनत. तो he says, O myriads of immortal spirits, O powers matchless. He says that you are matchless powers. You are so powerful and strong that your power cannot be compared to anything but with the Almighty. But there is one rival to your power also, and that is the power of the Almighty. That strife was not inglorious, though the event was dire. He says that the recent event, the recent conflict that they had, against the God, that was not inglorious, that was not disrespectful, or that was not disgraceful for them. They are not ashamed of it, though the event was dire, though the end result of the event, that was dreadful, that was terrible. As this place testifies, because the proof of this terrible incident is that this is the proof, the place where they have been put in, and this dire change, that the place there where they have been thrown, this is the proof, this is the evidence of the seriousness of the issue. He says that even the change that they have been outrightly changed from angels to who were living in heaven, now they are living in hell, and they are called fallen angels now. Hateful to utter. So he says that as this place testifies, and this dire change hateful to utter. So it is it is very hateful, it is very loathsome to talk about this change, and because this place gives an evidence of the seriousness of the conflict. But what power of mind foreseeing or presaging from the depth of knowledge past or present could have feared how such united force of gods, how such as stood like these, could ever know repulse. Now he says that that no mind could ever think, could ever anticipate that such an army like this could ever defeat. Nobody could ever anticipate, nobody could ever fear that such a united force of gods. United force of gods here he is referring to the angels, the fallen angels who have gathered there, who have announced who are the followers of Satan, and who have announced the unending, everlasting, eternal war against God. So he says that this united force of gods, who could anticipate, who could have feared that this united force can ever be defeated? For who can yet believe, though after loss, that all these present legends who exile hath emptied heaven shall fail to reascend self-raised and repossess their native seat? So he says that for who can yet believe, that who knows that after this loss, that though after loss, that all these present legends, here it refers to the powerful, the strength of the fallen angels, that all these powerful soldiers, powerful warriors, that who have been exiled from the heaven, their exile from heaven has emptied the heaven, because they are so many, they are infinite, they are numberless. So he says that their exile from heaven has emptied the heaven, shall fail, that this powerful battalion, this powerful army shall fail to reascend, or will not be able to regain self-raised. Self-raised means they have raised themselves on their own efforts, and repossess, and could get back their native seat. What is the native seat? They have fallen from heaven, so that native seat is heaven, the original position where they were. So who could believe, who yet knows that these fallen angels whose exile from heaven has emptied the heaven, who have raised themselves, will not get their position back in heaven? For me be witness all the host of heaven. He says that I am the witness, I am the one who is the evidence of all this, and the host of heaven. If counsels different, if the opinions are different, and danger shunned, if danger is avoided, by me have lost our hopes. If counsels different or danger shunned, if the by me. So he says that I am the one who has avoided the danger, and there may be differences of opinion, have lost our hopes. We have lost our hopes, but he who reigns monarch in heaven, he is the one who is reigning heaven till then, as one secure sat on his throne, that till the time that he was reigning very peacefully, he was sitting on his throne upheld by old repute. Old repute here refers to something that was present in the past and that continue to exist till the present time. So he says that it was either by old tradition, or by consent, by the mutual agreement or custom or by tradition, and his regal state and his royal state put forth at full, but still his strength concealed, that he was reigning well, he was sitting on all his throne with all that splendor and with all his strength. So regal state, that kingly state, that grandeur of being a king, that was revealed, that was displayed, but still his strength concealed. He says that concealed is hidden, that his strength, his real strength was concealed, and this was the reason that he was ruling the earth and we were the subservients, we were the subordinates there in heaven, and he ruled the heaven with all his grandeur and the kingly manners, but his real strength remained hidden from us, which tempted our attempt, which persuaded us, which tempted us to our attempt is the rebellion. That this was the result, that we did not know his real strength. We thought that we could be equal to his strength. We could never have the idea of his strength. That made us rebels and wrought our fall, and it brought about our fall. Henceforth his might we know. So after that incident we know his strength. His might is his strength, his power, and know our own. So he says that after that incident, after that dreadful incident of having been expelled from heaven and thrown down into the hell, we know his power as well as our own power. And he says that we are a step behind his power, so as not either or provoke or dread new war provoked. He says that after knowing the power of the Almighty and our own power, we are either we fear or we are provoked, we are stirred up for a new war. Our better part remains. He says that to work in close design. So he says that the better part of it, what is the better part? That we still have a chance to succeed. And what is that? To work in close design. In close design here refers to secrecy, that they are going to work in secrecy by fraud or guile. Fraud is deception, guile is to deceive. So through they will work secretly, they will try to defraud him, they will try to deceive him. What force effected not, that what they could not achieve through force, whatever they could not achieve through strength, because they are a step lesser than him as compared to his strength. So they are not going to use strength now, because they know, उनको पता है कि strength में वो Almighty से एक step पीछे हैं. Almighty की जो strength है वो उनसे ज़्यादा है. So they are not going to fight with him. They have announced that eternal war. उन्होंने ना ख़त्म होने वाली जंग का ऐलान तो कर दिया है, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा है कि अब वो ओपन जंग नहीं लड़ेंगे, अब वो सीक्रेट जंग लड़ेंगे, और उसमें उसको धोखाधड़ी से और डिसेप्शन से और फ्रॉड से जो है उस जंग को जीतने की कोशिश करेंगे, क्योंकि जो चीज़ पावर से हासिल नहीं की जा सकती उसको धोखे से हासिल किया जा सकता है. That he no less at length from us may find, who overcomes by force hath overcome but half his foe. So he says that in this way he would know that we are no less than him, and the one who overcomes, who conquers his enemy through force, has overcome or has conquered only half of his enemy. Space may produce new worlds, whereof so rife. So rife is so prevalent. So space may produce new worlds. So they had the rumors that the God intends to create a new world. There went a fame in heaven that he ere long, that in this space, in the vast spaces that still existed in the universe, there was a rumor in the heaven that God intended to create a new world, and therein plant a generation, and he would place a generation in it, he would place a race in it, whom his choice regard should favor equal to the sons of heaven. Sons of heaven here is a reference to angels, कि उनको उसी तरीके की अल्लाह ताला एक और ज़मीन बनाना चाह रहे हैं, एक और नई दुनिया बनाना चाह रहे हैं, और उस दुनिया में एक ऐसी रेस को पैदा करेंगे, ऐसी रेस को वहां पर रखेंगे जो कि जिनको वो अपनी चॉइस से फरिश्तों के, एंजल्स के मुकाबले में जो फेवर्स हैं वो दी जाएंगी. Thither, but if to pray shall be perhaps our first eruption, thither or elsewhere. So they intend to break forth into that world, they intend to go there in order to satisfy their curiosity. For this infernal pit shall never hold. Infernal pit, again hell. So hell shall never hold celestial spirits in bondage. Bondage is chain, that this hell can never hold the heavenly bodies in chains forever, nor the abyss long under darkness cover. That even this vast space of hell, which is covered all by darkness, it cannot keep them under this darkness for a very long time, because these are because the fallen angels are the celestial spirits, they are the heavenly bodies, they are heavenly spirits. But these thoughts full counsel must mature, peace is despaired. But these thoughts here, it refers to this thinking, it has to be developed, it has to be developed through advice. Peace is despaired, it is difficult, they are sad about getting peace. For who can think submission? He says that under the submission, we cannot think of submitting to the will of God, we cannot be subordinate, subserviers, or the followers of his commands. So this is the rebellious attitude. And even peace is despaired, that under the rule of God we cannot hope to have peace, because they wanted to rebel, they did not want to follow the orders of God. War then, war open or understood must be resolved. So whether open or secret, war is the ultimate. And he spake, and to confirm his words, he said that war, directly or indirectly, open or hidden, there will be war. Now in order to confirm his words, in order to support the ideas, whatever he had spoken, what the rest of the angels, all those soldiers and warriors, what they did, and to confirm his words, out flew millions of flaming swords, drawn from the thighs of mighty cherubim. Cherubim is from cherub, that all those fallen angels, all those powerful angels who were standing there, in order to support the opinion of Satan, they drew back their swords, millions of swords, and they were shining, they were all glittering. This sudden blaze far round illuminated hell. So that blaze, that shining, that glittering or glistening of the swords, it illuminated, it brought light into the hell. Highly they raged against the highest. The highest here again, God, the Almighty. So they raged, they were full of anger against the God, and fierce with grasped arms, clashed with their sounding shields the din of war, hurling defiance towards the vault of heaven. So what they did, they were angry, they were furious with anger against the Almighty, and they were fierce with grasped arms. They were grasping, they were having the hold of those weapons, and it clashed with their shields. They clashed it with these shields, producing the sound, the noise of the war, and they it announced their rebellious attitude towards the powers, towards the power of heaven. Heaven here is again God, toward the strength of Almighty. There stood a hill not far, whose grisly top. Now from this part onwards, we will have the building of the palace of Pandemonium. That palace would be erected for the advice, for the purpose of counseling there. So there was a hill whose grisly top, whose horrible top belched fire and rolling smoke. It expelled. So there was a hill near there, and it expelled fire and smoke all the time. The rest entire shone with a glossy scarf, undoubted sign that in his womb was hid metallic ore, and it was all shining with the bright scaly surface, and there was no doubt that there were symptoms that this mountain, this hill, it contained metallic substances. There was no doubt from the symptoms that this mountain, this hill contained the metallic substances, the work of sulfur. Because of the work of the sulfur, thither winged with speed a numerous brigade hastened. So they all flew. The soldiers, they flew quickly on their wings, as when bands, they flew in a way as bands of pioneers with spade and pickaxe armed forerun the royal camp to trench a field or cast a rampart. So what happened? Now these all these soldiers, they quickly moved, as when the soldiers who on foot with their axe and with spade and pick and axe, they move when with these weapons they move, and they are moving towards they proceed towards the royal camp in order to dig the field or cast a rampart और टू इरेक्ट आ डिफेंसिव वॉल, जैसे कि कोई खंदक बनानी हो या कोई डिफेंसिव वॉल, कोई हिफाजती वॉल जो है बनानी हो. नाउ दीज फ्रॉम दिस part onwards, the building of the work for the building of palace of pandemonium that has started. उन्होंने ये जो digging की है और ये इससे वो building का काम start हो चुका हुआ है. Mamun led them on. He was the one who was their director, who directed their actions. So Mamun is basically the one who was the supervising the building of the palace of pandemonium. So he is the architect of the pandemonium. Mamun, the least erected spirit that fell. So he was a Mamun before falling even from heaven. Mamun was the one who was the least erected. He was a humble spirit whose eyes were for even in heaven his looks and thoughts. So he had his looks, his eyes bowed down. So he was very a humble sort of person. Were always downward bent, that his thoughts and his eyes, they were always bent downwards, admiring more the riches of heaven's pavement, trodden gold, than aught divine or holy else enjoyed in vision beatific. Now what happened? That he was different. Even in heaven, in paradise, Mamun was different from the rest of the angels in his attitude, because he did not enjoy the things that others would wish for, they would enjoy. He was a humble sort of person. He would admire the heavenly pavements which were made of gold. By him first men also, and by his suggestion taught. So even men because of him, they ransacked the center. They try to dig the center of the earth, and with impious hands and with the impure, with the unholy hands, rifled the bowels of their mother earth. They took out for treasures better hid. So all those treasures that were hidden in the center of the earth, men, the first men, they dig out the earth and they rob the earth of all the precious jewels and stones that it contained. Soon had his crew opened into the hill a spacious wound and digged out ribs of gold. So the soldiers who were digging the earth, they soon did what? They had digged a large part of it, and they were able to find out gold from it. Let none admire that riches grow in hell. So he says that it is worth that these riches they grow in hell, that because they are the curse, they are the nuisance for the mankind, because men become greedy. When they think about these things, they become greedy and they receive the curse of God. That soil may best deserve the precious pain. So because that soil, the soil of the hell, that is the one that is a nuisance, that is to be cursed, that has become a curse for the mankind. And here let those who boast in mortal things, the men who boast in mortal things, the things that are going to finish, that are going to come to an end, and wondering tell of Babel and the works of Memphian kings. So people who boasted of, जो कि अपनी काम की, अपनी स्किल और क्राफ्ट की शोखी मारते थे, वो लोगों का अपने बेबीलोन और जो इजिप्शियन पिरामिड्स थे उसके बारे में बताते थे कि हमने बहुत एक मार्वलस काम किया है. Let how their greatest monuments of fame and strength and art are easily outdone by spirits reprobate. Reprobate is wicked. So these wicked spirits, the work that is done there, he says that though all that work, men, let them know that all that work that men do, and they are proud of it, they take pride in doing these works of building the pyramids and Babylon. He says that all these wicked spirits, they easily excel their work, and in an hour, what an age they with incessant toil and hands innumerable scars perform. Now these spirits, they had done in an hour, they had done the work of ages, that the unending hard work of men, and a number of them, innumerable hands, even if they included for doing that work, even if they added a lot of men to do that work, they would hardly do that in ages. They would spend all their life doing that work. Nigh on the plain in many cells prepared. So they, near the plain, they prepared many cells. So there was another group of angels who prepared, fallen angels who prepared the cells near the plain, that underneath had veins of liquid fire, that under these cells there were veins of liquid fire slugged from the lake. It was drawn off. These were drawn off from this liquid fire was drawn off from the lake of hell, from the fiery lake of hell. A second multitude with wondrous art found out the massy ore. So the second group of angels with its wonderful art, with its they found what? They searched for the massive ore. They found out that the precious metals and the precious minerals, severing each kind, and scummed the bullion dross. So what they did, they separated each type of mineral, and they pured them of they removed the impurities from these minerals. A third as soon had formed within the ground. So the third, in the meantime, the third part of the fallen angels, they had formed within the ground a various mold. They had formed a mold from from the boiling cells by strange conveyance filled each hollow nook. So they filled through the transportation means, they filled every corner, as in an organ from one blast of wind to many a row of pipes the sound board breathes. So they filled that through the transportation means, they filled every corner of it as if the wind has filled the pipes for the communication sound. Anon out of the earth a fabric huge. So Anon is the soon out of the earth. What happened? They could find a structure huge, very big. They could find a very big structure out of the earth. Rose like an exhalation with the sound of dulcet symphonies and voices sweet. So they could find a vapor. There was a vapor, and the sound of it was very sweet and harmonious sound was there, built like a temple, and through that they could build a temple where pilasters round were set. Pilasters are the square pillars, so there were pillars with it. They in seconds like the wind of the air, जैसे कि हवा का एक झोंका जो है वो मिट्टी को बहाकर एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ले जाता है, इसी तरीके से इस तरह से सेकंड्स में उन्होंने वो जो मिट्टी खोदी थी, वो जो उससे पहले पूरा पहाड़ खोदा था, उसको सेकंड्स में जो है इसको एक पैलेस की फॉर्म दे ली है, एक टेम्पल की फॉर्म दी है। और उस टेम्पल में पिलर्स हैं और उसमें डोरिक पिलर्स हैं। डोरिक पिलर्स आर सिंपल एंड ड्यूरेबल पिलर्स with golden architrave. So it was made of gold, nor did there want cornice or frieze. So there was cornice or frieze also with bossy sculptures graven. There were sculptures also, they engraved in those pillars. The roof was fretted gold. The roof was wrought with the there were designs were made with gold on the roof. Not Babylon nor great El Cairo, such magnificence equaled in all their glories to enshrine Belus or Serapis, their gods or seat. Now, this magnificence with which they have created this palace of Pandemonium, it could not be compared to any living legend or any architectural building in this earth. He says that not even the Babylon, not the palaces of the gods, the Belarus, the Serapis that they had established for the god, not their glories and the shrines, nothing could surpass, nothing could be compared with the magnificence, with the grandeur of this palace of Pandemonium, or seat their kings. When Egypt with Assyria strove in wealth and luxury, that even in Syria and Egypt there was abundance of wealth and luxuries. Even the seats for those kings, they could not be compared to the seat here in the palace of Pandemonium. The ascending pile stood fixed her stately height, straight the doors opening, their brazen folds discover wide within her ample spaces. So what happened when the door opened? There was ample space. There was it was fixed high, and there was majestic grandeur in it. There was magnificence in it. And when the doors opened, it had a wide space, and over the smooth and level pavement from the arched roof, pendant by subtle magic, many a row of starry lamps and blazing cressets fed with naphtha and asphaltus yielded light as from a sky. So what happened? We have the description of the palace of Pandemonium, that it had the type of pavement that it had, and now the roof, it had the arched roof, and there were hanging many lamps. They were very mysterious magic lamps were hanging in that arched roof. It had the starry lamps that were blazing like the fire baskets, and they were fed with they were supplied fire with the naphtha and the pitch that yielded light as from the sky. And that light that came out of these lamps, these fire baskets, they appeared as if the light is coming from the sky. Now sky, once again, sky has this symbolic significance also, referring to the heaven. The hasty multitude admiring entered. So multitude again, in there large number of fallen angels were present. So they hastened, they quickly entered that, and what they did? Admiring entered. They were admiring the place, they were admiring the work, some praise, and some the architect. So admiringly they entered that palace of Pandemonium, and some of them, they were praising the palace, and others were praising the architect. His hand was known in heaven by many a towered structure high. So he was known even in heaven as a very skillful artist, and he had erected many tall towers there, where scepter angels held their residence, that those angels who were the leaders, they held their palace there, they held their regal states there, and sat as princess. So they sat on those palaces, on those thrones as the princess, whom the supreme king exalted to such power. And that power was given to them by the king, and that king was by the supreme king, and that supreme king refers to the Almighty, to the Omnipotent, to Allah, and gave to rule each in his hierarchy the orders bright. So they were given that rule, so they were given that power to rule, and they were given these rules by hierarchy in their rank, or the orders bright. So there was a particular order that was kept in mind, or that was followed for giving them that power to rule. Nor was his name unheard or unadored. So his name was not unheard or unadored in ancient Greece, that even in ancient Greece people knew, people adorned him, they liked his work. So even in Greece, in ancient Greece, Greek mythology, he was famous. There is a story also about him. And in Ausonian land, men called him Mulciber. He was also called Mulciber. Ausonian land refers to Italy. So in Italy, he was called as Mulciber. So his name is Memnon. He is the architect of the Palace of Pandemonium, and in his reference is found even in Greek mythology, and people know him by the name of Mulciber. And how he fell, so that story of his fall from heaven, that is also narrated. And how he fell from heaven, they fabled. So that story is narrated. Thrown by angry Jove, sheer over the crystal battlements from morn to noon, he fell from noon to dewy eve, a summer's day, and with the setting sun, dropped from the zenith like a falling star. So his story of falling from heaven till he reaches from that height, it is all described, that it is said that he was thrown down by angry Jove. Jove is the god of sun, and he threw him out of the shining parapets, and he threw him on a morning, and till noon he fell. Even till noon he fell from heaven, and from to dewy evening. So it started from he fell, he was thrown in the morning, and at noon it continued, even till the evening it continued, a summer's day. So why summer's day? Because summer's days are usually long. So it started from morning till the evening. So fully a summer's day was covered, and with the setting sun, even the sun was set, dropped from the zenith. He was dropped from the height of the heaven like a falling star, and he fell like a falling star. On Lemnos, the Aegean Isle, thus they relate. So they say that he was thrown from there to the Aegean Isles on Lemnos. Earrings is the incorrectly, for he with this rebellious rout fell long before, nor aught avail him now to have built in heaven high towers, nor did he escape by all his engines. So it says that it is incorrectly said, that they related incorrectly because they do not know the truth. For his with his rebellious crowd fell long before that, because he had fallen with the rebellious crowd long before that, and not anything availed here to make use of, that he did not make use of anything now, because he built heavens, the higher towers in heaven, and he did not escape by his tricks or by his plots, but was headlong sent. He did not use any of his tricks, any of his plots to avoid that, to escape that, and he was headlong sent with his industrious crew to build in hell. He was sent with his industrious are the hardworking. So with those hardworking spirits, he was sent to hell to build the palace of Pandemonium. Meanwhile, the winged heralds, by command of sovereign power, with awful ceremony and trumpets sound throughout the host, proclaim. So there was, during this time, the winged heralds, they were commanded, the sovereign power had commanded the start of that awful ceremony, and that started with the sound of the trumpets. Trumpet is a sort of instrument which is blown usually during the times of wars to inspire, to stir up the spirits, the morale of the soldiers and warriors. A solemn council forthwith to be held. So a very serious council was to be started at Pandemonium, at the palace of Pandemonium. And it is said that this Pandemonium, the creation, this word did not exist in English before that. This was Milton's own creation for referring to the palace which is meant for Saturn and his fallen angels to advise there, to discuss the matters there. The high capital of Saturn and his peers, which is the capital, which is the meeting place for the Saturn and his companions. Their summons called. So summons are called there for every band and squadron regiment by place or choice the worthiest. They anon with hundreds and with thousands trooping came. So the summons were read. All the fallen angels, they were called in the palace of Pandemonium. That was a place of meeting for Saturn and his followers. When the summons are sent, all the bands, all the battalions and squared regiments, or by place or choice, the worthiest. So all the leaders, the best of them, they soon, with hundreds and thousands of the others following them, they started towards the palace. They started marching towards the palace. Trooping came attended. Trooping came attended again the soldiers who are under their command. All access were thronged, the gates and porches wide, but chief of the spacious hall, though like a covered field, where champions bold won't ride in armed, but at the Soldan's chair defied the best Paynim chivalry. So they all started marching towards that place, and they entered through the gates and the porches and the wide spaces, and they entered that hall, which was a huge field. It was a covered huge field, and where the champions bold would ride in armed. The bold champions, they would very boldly ride with their all weapons like the soldiers. And they were marching like the pagans who used to ride during the times of chivalry. So these are the references to the medieval chivalric poetry and the romances. To mortal combat or carrier with lance. So they are going to, mortal is the deadly, dreadful combat. And the carrier with lance, lance is the, in Urdu we call it naiza, so this is the weapon of the soldiers. Sticks formed both on the ground and in the air, brushed with the hiss of rustling winds, as bees in springtime when the sun with Taurus resides, pour forth their populous youth about the hive. So what happened? These, they appeared. All these angels, they gathered there on that place, on the ground and in the air. They were found everywhere, and their wings, since they were fallen angels, so they had their wings, and those wings, they produced that hissing sound. And this hissing sound of the fallen angels, it has been compared to the sounds of the bees, as if the bees in springtime, by springtime, because in springtime the bees are very active, they are very irritating. When the sun with Taurus resides, Taurus is the one of the zodiac signs, and it extends, or it stretches from 20th of April to 20th May. So those years, the end of April and the beginning of May, during that time, put forth their populous youth above the hive, that when these bees, they are very active during the during the month, the end of April and the first half of the month of May, they are very active and they are very populous around their hives. So they put forth all their energy, all their vigor. So these commanders, these soldiers and battalions, they present a similar scene there in clusters. So they are in groups, they are in clusters. They among fresh dews and flowers fly to and fro. So as if they move among the fresh flowers that has dew fallen on it. So those dewy flowers, these bees, they keep on flying on those dewy flowers to and fro, that around those flowers, or on the smoothed plank. The suburb of their straw-built citadel is the little city. So the area of their little city that they have created with the help of the straws, new rub with balm, expatiate and confer their state affairs. So what they do there, they are fed with resins, and they try to develop, they try to expand upon their ideas about their everyday life, and they discuss their everyday matters. So thick the airy crowd swarmed and were straightened till the signal given. So it was the use of extended simile. The battalion of the soldiers, all this army is compared to the bees, to the bees in summer that are very active and that are working on their hives, and they discuss their everyday matters. They are, and they, even their there is not just the comparison of their numberless in their strength. The comparison is also in the murmuring that the bees produce. So the similar sounds are produced there also with the help of their wings, because bees also produce the sounds with the help of wings. So that sound is there. Bees के साथ जो comparison है, because bees during the summer season, they are very active. They during that time they prepare honey and all that. So they keep on working. They are very active during that time, and they are very वो हर वक्त जो है वो तैयार होती हैं और एक दूसरे के गिर्द जमा भी होती हैं. आपको बहुत सारी जगहों पर मिलेंगी इधर उधर बैठी हुई भी. So they are this battalion of fallen soldiers, these warriors and soldiers, they have gathered round Saturn in the same way, discussing about the matters of their war, and they are swarming. So the sounds are also similar. They are also swarming. जिस तरीके से वो बहुत बेताब होते हैं कि उनको कुछ बताया जाए, flies को जो है वो कुछ करने को मिले, because they are eager to collect honey, and were straightened, and they were cramped for space. They had lesser space to stay in that place where they were confounded. उनको कम जगह मिल रही थी, तो वो बहुत एक packed up position थी उनकी. Till the signal given, and they remained in that position till they were given the signals. Behold a wonder, they but now who seemed in bigness to surpass earth's giant sons, now less than smallest dwarfs. So what happened? Behold a wonder, that it would be a surprise. Behold is to look. It would be surprising to see they, but now who seemed in bigness to surpass earth's giant sons. Now जिस तरह से कोई देव कामत इंसान होता है, वो देव कामत से ये जो सारे fallen angels हैं, they have turned into smallest dwarfs. Dwarf is somebody having very short height, in narrow room, throng numberless, like that पिग्मियन रेस. वो पिग्मी रेस की तरह, ड्वार्फ्स की तरह बहुत ज्यादा छोटे हो गए हैं, और इस कदर छोटे हो चुके हैं कि दे आर फाउंड, दे आर नंबरलेस, एंड दे आर सो अर्लियर व्हाट वाज देयर कंडीशन? They were even, their size was greater than the giants of the earth. अब उनका size पिग्मी रेस से भी छोटा, ड्वार्फ से भी छोटा हो चुका है. स्मॉलेस्ट ड्वार्फ, छोटे से छोटा जो ड्वार्फ है उससे भी छोटा हो चुका है. Beyond the Indian Mount or fairy elves, so whose midnight revels by a forest side or mountain, some belated peasant sees or dreams he sees, while overhead the moon sits arbitress and nearer to the earth. So what happened? Some in the form of some beyond the Indian mountains, or the small in the form of small fairies who go on to their adventure during the midnight by a forest side or on a fountain, with a peasant who returns by midnight, or he sees a dream while he overhead the moon sits arbitress. He sits like a spectator, and nearer to the earth, it is near to the earth's wheels her pale course. Wheels her pale course, so it revolves in a carrier of pale light. They on their mirth and dance intent, with jocund music champ his ear. So they do what? They are having the merry music. They are joyous with that happiness. At once with joy and fear his heart rebounds. His heart, it leaps, it starts again with the mixed feeling of happiness and fear. Thus, incorporeal spirits to smallest forms reduced their shapes immense and were at large. Now, these spirits, the bodiless spirits, they were turned to the smallest creatures from their immense, from their huge shapes, and were at large, though without number, still amidst the hall. So they were still in the, they were numberless, they were still in the middle of the hall of that infernal court. So that was the court of the infernal court, refers to court which is built in infernal. Inferno is the hell. So infernal court here refers to pandemonium. But far within and in their own dimensions like themselves. So in their form, in their size, they were like themselves. उनकी shape, size उनका छोटा हो गया, लेकिन उनकी shape जो उनकी dimension थी वो same है. The great seraphic lords and cherubium. So those lords and those cherubs, the greater leaders and angels, in close recess and secret conclave sat. So, but those the greater leaders, they did not change in their size and shape. They remained the same. And these higher leaders and these higher angels, they sat in they sat for some time so that they could discuss the they could have the secret meeting, they could have that assembly together, and they can discuss the matters. 1,000 demigods on golden seats. So there were 1,000 demigods, as we discussed earlier also, that they were, since they were heavenly spirits, so they were different from human beings. They were more than human beings. Their light, or the spirit that they held, that was more than human beings. So those demigods, that is why Milton calls them demigods, that those thousands of demigods, they sat on the golden seats. Since we know that they used lots of gold also in the building of that pandemonium, frequent and dull. And these seats, they were crowded together, and they were all full, they were filled. After short silence then, so there was a slight pause, there was a short silence, and summons read. Summons are those the legal documents, they were read, and the great consult began, the advice and the discussion for which they had gathered there. And what was this discussion about? It was about the war against God that they had announced, that Satan had announced, and following Satan, all these rebel angels, all these fallen angels, they were ready to start this war following him, and they were ready to discuss the matters. Let's have a review at the some of the important points that we discussed in this lecture. With these lines we have finished, because we have finished with book 1, and in this course only book 1 of Paradise Lost is included. Today whatever we discussed, the lines that we read, these included Satan's speech. In this speech, we came to know that he called the spirits and he talked to them, and after that there was a rumor in heaven that God is going to create a new world, and in this new world he would place a generation, a race, whom he intends to give favors, whom he wants to give regard like those of angels. Then the building of the pandemonium is there, and the chief architect of pandemonium of this palace is Mammon. He is also known as Mulciber, and we have his reference in Greek mythology also. Later on we see that when Milton mentions that these angels, they are so clever and cunning that they could do the work that men could do in ages. They could do that in only a very, very short time, and they built that palace of pandemonium, and all the fallen angels, the soldiers and warriors that have gathered there, they were called and they gathered in the palace of pandemonium. We had a little description of the palace of pandemonium, that it was made of gold. Since gold is a curse, it is a nuisance for mankind, it is the matter of dispute for mankind. So finally we see that all these fallen angels, they gathered around Satan in order to have further orders and discussion on the war that they had announced against the Almighty. In the next lecture we shall discuss the different perspectives from which this text can be analyzed. Today we have, in this lecture, we have finished with the text, the major part of it. Now we will analyze the different parts of the text, that what type of questions we can have or what type of perspectives we can have after reading this text. Allah Hafiz.